Good morning, and welcome to Lesson 1, Part 15. That's right, Lesson 1 is a humdinger. So, if this is your first time tuning in, I will assure you this will only make sense if you listen to this video while watching or gazing upon the latest version of the free PDF that you can download on the class materials page. The link is found on the YouTube page that you're watching this video on, right below the video. So pause the video, do that now. I'll be right here. And welcome back. Okay, let's check that bad boy out. So you're looking at the PDF entitled First Quarter Lesson Texts. And by the way, if this is your first time tuning in, do yourself a favor, close this video and open the video entitled Lesson 1, Part 1. But if you watched all the 14 previous videos, then by all means, it's time for the 15th video. So we've explored page 2, which is a table of contents, and we've explored page 3, and now we're on page 4. In previous lessons, we've explored the Lamrim's intellectual path to Buddhist spiritual mastery, wisdom training verbal, contrived concentration, and we're currently working on the spiritual exercise known as spontaneous concentration. We've explored contemplative notation, we've explored the efficacy of contemplative questions, rhetorical questions, assumptive questions, and of course, mantra-empowered questions. We've explored the 6-syllable mantra used to invoke the person and presence and blessings of the Buddha of compassion, also known as Avalokiteshvara, also known as Kuan Yin or Quan Shin Pusa, also known as Chenrezig. I've given you the tantric. I've taught you how to pronounce the 6-syllable mantra. I've given you the tantric empowerment or blessings to use the 6-syllable mantra with greater efficacy. Now let's put it all together. If you've already watched the previous videos for this chapter or this lesson, then you already know that which most frequently drives us to practice is our own suffering. Now, a fool might try to escape his suffering, but guys, I gotta tell you, if you want a life completely devoid of suffering, then don't follow teachings of Lao Tzu or Buddha or Christ, because those folks suffered. But if you want to go through life with eyes wide open, and find a way to manage your sufferings, to minimize your sufferings, the impact of your sufferings, and minimize the tyranny of your sufferings, and maximize the profitability to actually you take the energy of suffering and transmute that into greater compassion, and transmute that into greater wisdom, and greater freedom, and greater joy, and greater peace, then I might be able to help you out. Let's see, Skype is acting up, so I'm going to close that right now. Okay. So let's have at it. Now, yes, sometimes we'll have nothing to meditate on. We'll choose something neutral. Sometimes we have something lovely. For instance, this morning I sat outside, savoring a glass of ice or a bottle of ice water, and looked at the sky and the leaves and the shrubs, and it was beautiful. And I brought that beauty into the path of awareness and letting go. But 9 times out of 10, it's the dissatisfactory, the unsatisfactory things in our life, whether it's physical pain or emotional anger or anxiety or sadness. Those are the 3 most frequent things. Remember, what we feel is not an indictment. Who we are is not determined by what we feel, but rather determined by what we do with what we feel. And now, starting with this exercise, you have something constructive to do with the gurk that sometimes can manifest in our lives. Pardon. The three primary negative emotions, it could be argued, are anger, fear, and sadness. And so for this exercise, we're going to play with anger. And anger or rage are just umbrella terms to describe everything from bloodthirsty rage to being subtly miffed. Anything at all. For sake of convenience, we're going to describe it as a feeling, a sensation, or an emotion from the anger family. So, as we gaze upon this exercise entitled Spontaneous Concentration, there are so many things where we're just going to practice this in a simplified manner. We're going to ask, what anger am I now experiencing? And you could say, but wait a minute, Lama, Jigme, won't that feed my anger? Couldn't that increase my anger? And the answer is, it might. Well, then why? Why on earth are we going to do this? Wouldn't it be easier to stick my head in a warm, dark place and forget about the anger? Well, that's an interesting thought, but if you did that, eventually you'd pull your head out of the warm, dark place, and the anger would be right there. Kind of like a cat taking a nap right outside the mouse hole, waiting for that pesky rodent to show his little furry head again. So, we perform this exercise to sharpen our awareness of the troublesome emotion, so that in the exercises to follow, we can deconstruct it. So in the off chance that this increases our discomfort, know that it is a temporary situation that serves the greater good, not only of increasing and sharpening our awareness, but making it possible to inform future exercises to sharpen and increase our wisdom of letting go. What's the wisdom the Buddha offers us? Is it the wisdom to create a longer lasting light bulb? Not so much. It's the wisdom of letting go. Not of repressing, not of suppressing, not of denying, not of indulging, but of letting go. So, what anger am I now experiencing? On the out breath, you're going to whisper Om Mani Padme Hum as many times as you comfortably can in one breath. The goal is to eventually be able to whisper Om Mani Padme Hum 7 times in one breath. Now, you probably didn't hear me, so in these lessons, instead of me whispering the mantra, I'm just going to recite it verbally. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 just like that. And if you say, but wait, I just did your pronunciation drills and video 13 of lesson 1, and I just got the tantric empowerment in video 14 of lesson 1. There's no way I can recite it that fast. And the answer is, that's exactly right. You can't, and that's okay. You start off, doing it once or twice per breath. And if you practice this twice a day, every day, within less than a week, you'll be very comfortable reciting Om Mani Padme Hum 7 times in one breath. Now, there's nothing wrong with counting on your fingers. What I like to do is, on that same, that page, that link leads to you, I think it says Buddha Joy class materials, first quarter class materials. You can download an image of Lama Chenre Zig, which is simply Chenre Zig and a picture of your Lama, which in this case is me. Hi, how you doing? What I like to do is I gaze upon Chenre Zig and recite the mantra twice. I gaze upon my teacher, recite the mantra twice. Gaze upon Chenre Zig again, recite the mantra twice. Close my eyes, recite the mantra once, and lo and behold, that's 7. Now, once again, don't beat yourself up. Don't fall into the trap of being a perfectionist. But if you do these exercises twice a day, every day, in a remarkably short period of time, you'll become very comfortable with quickly and accurately pronouncing Om Mani Padme Hum. So, let's do this exercise one time. What anger am I now experiencing? Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. There you go. That's the last video to explain the exercise known as spontaneous concentration. In our next video, we'll most likely turn our attention to the concise renunciation exercise, also known affectionately as the no-duh contemplation. So let me turn my attention back to software. Here we go. So you're going to want to find the subscribe button, give that a click, move your cursor, bring it back, hover it over the subscription button again, and another button will appear and give you an opportunity to receive email notifications every time I upload a new video. I recommend that. I thank you for your time and your kind attention. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. 2012's Thursday series of weekly webinars begins in a week. I'll see you there.